Hello there, good afternoon and welcome. I'm Wormslayer2146 and today we're going to carry on looking at a few games as part of the Tiny Teams Festival. This is a celebration of games that have been made by teams of 5 or fewer people, being hosted, I guess, by Yogscast Games. Do want to point out that as part of the festival they have sent me a few game codes, access to various betas, games, demos, that kind of thing, and therefore you should consider all this to be a kind of advert for the games and for Yogscast Games, who are doing that hosting of the whole thing. That doesn't affect what I'm going to do or what I'm going to say. I was rather negative yesterday, I kind of feel. Try to be a bit more positive today perhaps, just because it's nicer on the people making these games. But yeah, there's no agreement or expectation that I'm going to do anything because I received those keys. But it's only fair that you guys know I did. We're going to have the same kind of plan today as we had yesterday. 3 games to look at, give each of them 60 to 90 minutes if the content is there to look at it. And we'll just, see what's going on. Some of them are in an early stage, some of them a bit more developed, but whatever's available, we'll have a little poke around, a little play and see what we think. The first game that we're going to look at is Winter Falling. I think this one specifically is Winter Falling Battle Tactics. There's various editions of this game as it's developed over time. So this is the Battle Tactics suffix at the end of it. Music's quite nice in the main menu, it's not bad. Let's hop into the game, start taking a look at what we've got. One thing I have noticed pretty early on, and I have a whole thing about this, so if you don't care, I'm sorry that I keep going on about it, but the audio defaults to right in the middle, and I love that. When I open a new game and I see that, it always puts me on the right mood, because we can adjust it up or down according to what suits our setup, and it doesn't default to the absolute maximum, and we can't do anything about it. And it actually sounds kind of well balanced. I might drop the music just a tiny bit. Maybe that much. Just a little, so I can hear myself think a bit better, but it's pretty good balanced, and I love that default. Not that that's terribly important in a game, but it matters to me. Let's start up a new campaign. We will do the Conquering Shadows campaign, as I think it's the only one available. I do find this interesting on the right hand side here. It shows you which endings of the campaign you've achieved already. You can see there are 2 good endings, a bad ending, and 2 secret endings. I find it a little weird that you might advertise at the start of the campaign that secret endings exist. I don't know. Other games will have it like in a hidden achievement or something, I guess, and you just have to Google it to know it exists. So I'm kind of a fan that you don't have to leave the game to know that that exists, but still it's not very secret. Don't know. It's fine. Just find that kind of interesting. I expect this campaign might take up to 90 minutes. Well, that's what we've got today, so we'll see if we can, I guess, survive that long. Peaceful towns on the northern Amber Coast are peaceful no more. Villagers gossip about shadows in the woods, so deep that even the bravest bandits tremble. Local prince has hired us to investigate and hang the troublemakers before the situation gets political. Okay. We get to pick a company, so we're like running a mercenary company, I think is the idea. They have different difficulties. I don't think we want to try out a nightmare difficulty because I'm generally not good at this type of game anyway, especially when I don't know. So we'll probably go with the easiest option, but it's kind of interesting. You can form a group of orc and goblin mercenaries, or egg riders, the Black Company, or I have no idea how to pronounce Polish. I am afraid. I won't even try unless I'm half certain. But here is a mercenary company with normal difficulty, so we'll go with that. And these are all like optional difficulty things that you can add if you want it to be harder, which nice for people. I feel like this type of game, a lot of people want added difficulty options, especially if it's good enough to sink a lot of time into. Me, I'm usually quite happy to just do one normal playthrough, so we won't make it any harder, especially for our first go. There is our introduction from the office of Regional Prince Rurik. just ruler of Polichna, defender of Samipin, that so on and so on. Okay, please help me. I grow tired of the scheming politics around here. It's not good for a regional prince. There are rumours the woods and rocks have come to life to haunt my subjects. Find out what's threatening people around here. Can prepare a down payment. You'll have to wait a few days. The trouble grows stronger each day. What do we say? So we can start. We can wait for our down payment. Adds 2 days, but we gain money. Or we can just quit now. Is that a victory? Does that count as a victory? I mean, that's probably the bad ending, right? If you just click no thank you. The trouble grows stronger each day makes me think I shouldn't wait. I'm not sure of the value of 7 coins. I mean, maybe it's worth it, but it sounds like it'll be easier if we just get on with it. We have started in Polichna. We have 3 quests to do. With food rewards or food... It seems like food rewards we might get, maybe. We have some morale up here, just behind my head. When an army loses a unit, we lose morale. This makes sense. Settings, company details, how many scouts, burbs, and forces and constructions we have. Okay. Don't know what they do yet, but we can play around a bit. Don't know what these are, but if we destroy enemy units with this icon, we'll get whatever they are. Resources in the top right. Money, denarii, okay. It lets us know kind of... We're in antiquity style, I guess. So we've got lots of, what, spears and... Yeah, spears and swords, captains and a supply wagon. Sure. Food for feeding our army. Tools for building structures. Manpower. We have 9 units totaling 28 manpower. Okay. Fresh food, little fishy shapes, is fresh food. Incentive to motivate our army. Interesting, so it might be like... On this kind of campaign map, I guess you might get benefits from using it or something. And difficulty ramps up with time based on how many days have passed. We're on day 1, good. Okay. We can go into town. In town we can shop. Spend money to get various resources or new units. Oh wow, there's all sorts. Okay, axemen, great swords. There's some kind of special deal on food over here. What's this? Buy 4 more packs to get that special. Okay, interesting. And we can rest, spend a fishy to restore manpower and morale, but spend a day as well, sure. Refresh the board. Haggle. Reduce cost by 1 denarii, but a random pack gets locked. That's interesting. Cool. Nice little mechanic there. Have noticed the music that was on the main menu doesn't play in the game. It's a little quiet. Maybe they only have the 1 track, like the main menu track, and they don't want to just repeat that for 90 minutes. A shame. Hopefully, as the game develops, they can get more music sorted out for it. We'll live without. It's fine. Woofs. Polichnians are scared to wander outside the town walls at night. There's talk of wolves in the hills. Coming out of the ground, kidnapping livestock and hiding beneath earth again. Doesn't sound like wolves, but okay. Do wolves make their dens under the earth? Maybe. There were no wolves for decades. Well, apparently now there are. It's not a one-way journey, whatever that means. Ah, the food is what you need. So we need 12 food to, I guess, make this journey successfully. It would take 5 days to do it. If it takes 5 days to do one of the starting missions, I feel like the 2-day option at the start might have not been so bad to take. This is 5 days for an easy thing. And we get 34 denarii as our reward. Interesting. So if we were to do it now, we can only spend up to 10 food because that's all we've got. 0 to 2 manpower will desert us as part of this. I don't know how much that matters. We recover manpower by resting. So fish seems like a more rare resource than food. So we should get the food first. It's better than trying to recover things later. Although you can, I guess, rest in the town to recover a bit. I don't know, it seems best to have the food. we started with some money, so why don't we spend it on food? We could just buy a bunch of food, or a mix of food and other stuff. What's a good deal? And comparatively, I'm not sure how many tools I want, because these seem like good deals, these on the right that have got lots of tools and a bit of food. These have got fish involved, or we just want food. That's kind of... I just kind of want food. I don't know what the other stuff's really worth at the moment, so maybe it's a bad pick. Let's not stress too much about good and bad picks. We can get the bad ending on the first playthrough and get a better one on the second playthrough. Let's buy that set of food, and it gets cycled for a new card. Cool. And if we buy 3 more cards, we get the special offer on the right, whatever that means. We don't have enough money for anything else, so let's kill some wolves and earn a bounty or whatever. This time I can give all 12 food. No one's going to desert. Our manpower will be maximum for sure. Off we go. Our troops have stopped marching. Okay, random events happen on the road then. Cool. There's a problem. Someone saw a huge black bird, and there's gossip. The bird was a bad omen predicting defeat. We can ignore it and lose one of our 3 morale. Units in the army will suffer -10 health if we do that, or -10 hearts, which I assume is health. Or one of our swordsmen will lose a single manpower, because we're going to dismiss the doubters. I mean, a single manpower out of 28 seems like less of a hit than a morale out of 3, so I think we're going to dismiss the doubters. It's probably a good idea to start with a tutorial. We'll even gain 5 coins if we play the tutorial battle, and I assume it's not going to hurt us, so sure. Let's learn how to fight before we actually have to fight. Monkey? Anyone? Monkey? Don't know what that means, but okay. Old Brandbird is here to tell us what to do. Managing an army is difficult, and winning battles even more so. We can do it if we remember a simple rule. Tactics are a way to make impossible things happen. Use everything to our advantage. Small things win battles. Okay. Keep calm and remember, don't panic. This game is, so far, nice. Well put together. Kind of, I don't know, just the look of it, you know, how that popped up and the noises. Like I say, music's kind of missing, but that's sometimes quite complicated and difficult, so, you know, we can be forgiving on that. But the UI and not the story necessarily, but the world that they've built so far and everything this is nice. We'll get into some gameplay and then see if I still think the same. Can we see the dust clouds? I can. That's where the enemy army is. What, in all 3 of them? Okay. You have to use scouts to be sure. Okay, so they could be anywhere here. Select a scout, click on a dust cloud, study informational windows that pop up. Okay, read everything, I guess. Use all of our scouts to continue. So we have 5 horses and 4 harassing scouts. This has judgment. Investigates how many enemy units are hidden in the area. You know, 0.4 range. Okay, so we can cover a few of these blobs. Investigates how many. I don't know really what that means. We've got 5 of these guys. Let's get a big coverage where we can. Ah, okay. 6 units are hiding under those blobs. Right. So maybe covering lots of blobs is not so helpful. Interesting. Because now I just know they're under all of them. I don't know which one they're under. Let's, it's interesting. I've got 5 and quite a lot of space to cover, so I'm not too sure on it all. Let's just click there. There's 3 up there. Let's cover all of that. There's 2 down here, so they are everywhere. I'm not sure what I'm gaining by scouting all this, but they are everywhere. So can I filter down? If I just have another horse look at that big blob there, there's 5 under there, which means there's only 1 in these front little ones. Still not sure how this helped me. There's 3 under all of that. I just know there's a lot of them there. What if I do the same on that one? There's 2 in there. So now I have the harassing scout. This is going to reveal enemy units. So I can kind of get a feel for how much is where using the horses, and then I can see specifics. So we know there's 5 under this big one, so we want to do that. That seems to have hurt their health. Which, like, it has a sword with a blood drop on it as its icon. I kind of figured it might hurt people. Oh, is that what this is, maybe? Yeah, harassment. Deals 8 damage to any enemy we reveal with these guys. So good. If we can use the horses to hunt down where the numbers are, and then the harassers to hurt them a bit before we start, seems good. We know there's 2 under here, so we might as well hurt them. We can kind of see that there's one under this cloud, or this cloud. So do we do them, or do we try and capture? So I think where we know we can do some damage. That didn't hurt them more. Interesting. So that's already hurt. It doesn't hurt them more. They can only be harassed once, I guess. Good to learn. Good to know. Next stage of the battle, then. We've done our scouting. We can see what we're up against. Some militia, some spearmen in the north, and something in the rear. And maybe other things within the clouds, I guess. Next step is to equip messengers. These are the burbs we saw. White pigeon. It's a messenger burb. Can do an order with a 13-time cooldown, and it's a basic burb. The black tit does 1 order on 10 cooldown. Stack plus 4 seconds cooldown. All other messengers minus 4 seconds cooldown. Not quite sure what the first thing means, but the second reduces the cooldown of other stuff. So you use your basic burb, then you use your black tit, and your basic burb is available again quicker. Whatever they do, but okay. Send messages. I guess the magpie gives a bonus of +2 spears with blood spurting out of them, but disables a random other messenger in the process. Disables it. Okay. They live at the bottom of the screen. We have 3 slots and 3 birds, so we just equip all of them. Okay, good. I'm glad we are doing a tutorial. There's quite a bit going on here. Place our units in the highlighted area, so we're within these circles. There's a hill here and there's not a hill there, so we can deploy in either of them. Okay. We've got 2 swordsmen, 4 spearmen, 2 captains, and a supply wagon. What does that icon mean? I think this is the one that lost manpower because of the random event. Interesting. Even though it's a tutorial battle, we're using our real army for it. I guess the layout's going to matter. I'm not a tactical genius, but if we put our wagon on top of the hill and then... We've got no archers or anything, so we don't need to use the hill, I don't think. Put our wagon at the back of the hill. Oh, it's got a little... Things within the ring are going to gain health. Right. Further forward then, maybe. Is the hill going to benefit us? I don't think the hill matters without range, so let's just put our wagon down. We'll have our captains middle-ish. Put some spears at the front. And some swords. So the ones approaching here are going around. So I don't think we need anything more in the south because the trees are there. So I'll put more swords like at the top of the wagon to protect it. Who knows? Like I say, not a tactical genius. I can reinforce. I can spend a fishy to gain a militia. Like an extra unit. That's cool. We only have the 2 fishy, so I don't think I'm going to spend it. But, okay, there's an option. And I can confirm we're ready. Okay, we're ready. That reveals everything. So I guess we can't go back and whatever. Interesting. But they don't need to move closer to see them or anything like that. 3 spears in the north, 2 militia in the east, 6 militia in the middle. We seem outnumbered, but it is a tutorial, so I'm confident we can win. Away we go. Okay. Use a messenger to give an advance order. Engage the enemy somewhere. Use a messenger. Move the cursor over this icon for a tooltip. Everything has tooltips. Good. Charge, advance, or cancel. Click on a unit with right mouse button to cancel its order. Press down on a unit and draw a path. Costs a Fist. Press down on empty terrain, draw a box to catch units and choose where to send them. So we need to advance our units. So we draw a box and choose where to send them. I mean, don't want to advance them too far. Maybe we'll use those trees to our advantage. Let's move up there and accept. Okay, this is interesting. So we can't just tell our units what to do. We have to get a bird to tell them what to do. That's cool. And I can pause whenever, good. And there's battle music, which is nice, just no campaign music yet. These guys have that icon that was mentioned before, like, I don't know what it is. Can we get details on that? Speed, charge, manpower, health, what weapon they have, a special ability of some kind. They are scared of monsters, but they are organised civilians. A trophy, okay. So we will gain a heroism if we defeat the trophy enemies, and that contributes to something up here that we don't know what they are yet. Hero abilities or something, I guess. Okay, cool. They're coming closer. Oh, it paused for me and then I accidentally unpaused it. This unit can charge an enemy now. I'm sure a few of our guys can. Use a messenger to give the charge order. I like this. So if I use my white pigeon to charge, I click on a unit and draw a path. Charge them. But that's going to use, it said it uses up one of these fists. So what is that? That's strength. Units spend that when they charge. Can't charge without one. And if you don't have any, you become exhausted, which is a bad thing. I mean, it sounds like a bad thing. So we don't want them to charge again. They charge once, but if they charge twice, they'll become exhausted, which is a bad thing. Interesting. So other things, maybe cavalry will be able to charge multiple times, but your basic men only once. Okay, and only one unit per bird, so we accept for that. But then I want to use my other bird, which is going to reduce the cooldown, so that's 12 seconds at the moment. I use this bird, tell these guys to charge. And that reduced it to 8 seconds. This is a clever system. I don't think I've ever played a game that had something similar. It's like real-time strategy, but you can't just tell your units what to do. Your birds do it, but they kind of play off each other. They have like a bit like a card game type system where they have effects that reflect off each other and stuff. So the magpie has a bonus to spears, which is charge, right? Yeah, the strength of a charge order. But it will disable a random... But both are already disabled. They're on cooldown. I assume disable means it puts it onto cooldown rather than it's gone forever. So if we use our magpie now, the downside isn't affected, and we have a bonus to the charge. So let's get another ping. Everyone wave the white flag. What does that mean? We killed 3 of their units, which means they lost 3 morale. Yeah, because they lose it when they lose a unit. So everyone else lost a little health. Right, when you lose all 3, so every 3 opponents we destroy, every 3 units we destroy, everyone else in the army loses a bit of health. Okay, that's how morale works. Cool. We also destroyed one with heroism, so we've gained a heroism up here. We can spend it on unit skills using a messenger. Every army is capable of a few heroic feats during a battle. Epic charge, Mr. Okay. I'm guessing we don't have a messenger that does that kind of thing. We would need to unlock a bird that uses heroism in some way first. The tutorial is teaching us that our wagon has an active skill. Okay. 2 targets in range on a cooldown. Oh, this uses a heroism. It's currently locked though, don't know why. Currently locked. Because you have to tell a messenger. Oh, clever. I can't just say give the food to everyone, because I'm down there fighting. I need to send a bird to the wagon to tell it to give food to everyone, which restores their strength to do another charge. So those guys both charged. Let's restore those two. And confirm. Thank you, Birdie. This is cool. Again, not necessarily a game I'd be very good at in general, but I think this is really clever. You're doing great. Just remember to read the tooltips. Okay. Old Branbird is off to manage his island. That might be a reference to something I don't know. So everything's just going to... I don't have to charge in to do damage. They're just going to fight each other back and forth. Lose a bit of health. We do want to wait a bit. Spearmen approaching. Trying to flank. Our health is way higher. The militia doesn't seem very strong. I don't think we need to worry, but the spearmen, perhaps. In 9 seconds, they're going to use a skill. So they're going to push back in 9 seconds. Deals damage and pushes away. If the target is mounted, they get stunned. Special spear ability, I guess. Okay. They also had some other thing. They looked like they were tired or something, but I don't see an effect for that. No, don't know. No big deal. What's our special ability? Break free. Deals 10 damage in a big area. Restores health in a nearby area. Health seems okay at the moment, not great. Okay. I want to set a burb to tell you charge at them, just in range. But they kind of got stuck on that guy on the way past. Interesting. I want my next burb to tell you to charge the other guys. Okay, stunned them or something. So a couple of my guys just aren't fighting. Like, I would have to use birds to get these guys into the fray, which is... Oh, it's interesting. Once they start fighting, they start pushing each other around a bit, so you might get pushed into another group that starts fighting, but at the moment, they need orders. They need to be told what to do. It's clever. These guys are in a tree. Reduces incoming damage and cannot be charged, okay. I thought they had to go round, but not the case. You can go through the trees with some kind of effect. Have we got anything else to do? I mean, this is a heroism guy, so I guess we want to... Can we get in there? No. They're too far away. Could send someone else in. I don't think it really matters. I don't think we need to charge these guys down. We get rid of the other guys. But I could get you guys to just, like, move up. Get somewhere more manoeuvrable. Cool. We seem to be pushing them back a lot. Kind of... Our wagons are vulnerable now. Gain that heroism for wiping them out. I think we should get these guys to move back to a defensive position. And you can probably charge in at this point. Excellent. Oh, they have panicked. Oh, that's... So when you 3 morale go, you panic and everyone takes a hit. Okay, cool. I've started hitting there. This guy's just going to hide in the trees forever, maybe? Couldn't blame him. Odds are not in his favour. Our guys seem to be going for him, which is interesting. Don't know why. Victory! Flawless victory. Nice. Achievement and everything. Great. Everyone survived, receiving a medal of some kind. No one was shattered, which means they lose manpower. No one was destroyed, which means they're permanently dead. Good result. And then that's the tutorial done. So now we're continuing the actual mission we set out to do. Okay. We've arrived at Hot Hills. Land is covered with hot springs and random caves. Wolf tracks are exactly where the villagers said. Paw clearly visible on the ground. Big pack. Men are following the tracks, but they just end, like the wolves disappeared or were swallowed by the earth. One of our scouts found a sealed entrance, different from all the others. Immense heat radiates from the inside, but there's no way to open it. Tried to open it, but there's no way to open it. That's not going to work. A whole unit of grown men couldn't unseal the entrance with all their strength. Will remain a mystery, but the sweat and the noises attracted some attention. couple of small wolves appear in one of the caves. Curious what you're doing here. Curiosity currently outweighs the anxiety. One wrong move, the wolves will call for help. The entire warband will be upon us. So we could try and distract them with a fishy, or we can just fight them. It's an easy mission, right? We can just fight them. We've got this. We just won the tutorial. We know what we're doing. Okay. What's this? There's a unit limit in that area. Only 6 can go there. We have more than 6 units, so we're probably going to have to deploy up on this hill right in the thick of it. Scout thing, I'm still not sure what the best approach is. I think it's still a case of one horsey on lots of places to see the total and then try and focus it down. So there's 5 in this area. 2 of them are under the big cloud. So they're probably spread out quite a lot. It's not really helpful. What's here? Only 2 units, so probably not worth trying to harass. Over here, 3 units. It doesn't really help me. Not sure. It's kind of just one of these things. It seems like scouting should be very useful, but I don't really know how, so without it teaching me, I might never know. Let's just try and look at... So what's in that front cloud? No one. So we're not going to harass that cloud. We're going to go for these 4. What's his fishy ability? Oh, we can refresh all of our scouts if we spend a fishy. Messengers will get a 15% cooldown if we spend a fishy. Okay, there's different options. Ooh, we didn't look at this in the tutorial. Buildings. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's use our harassing scouts. There are 5. 2 of them are under the big, so 3 of them are under these 4 clouds. And they're not there. Okay. So doing that when you can see some of the other things, just seems... I don't know, if you know someone is in that area, go for it. Like, one's got to be under this big cloud. Yeah, so we've done a bit of damage to them. Not much, but a bit. And then these ones, even though we can see they're under another cloud, they've already been hurt, so they won't be hurt again. We know there's another unit under that cloud. Yeah, I'm not very good at that. Never mind. Equip, hang on, in the same order as last time so I don't get confused. Equip our birds, we only have those options. Place our units. I don't want to split them. If we can only put 6 in the group up here, I don't want 6 up there and 3 down here getting squeezed. So I'm going to put everyone down here on the hill, I guess. Let's put our wagon in the middle. And we're going to want, let's have a captain every side. Swords with them. And then spears to charge in at the front, around the place, wherever we can fit them in this tiny little... yeah. Gonna need to pause a lot. Don't think I've done a great deployment job there. But what are these then? So we spend a fishy and fortifications off 30% cheaper. What have we got? So it's down here in the right. 10 tools to spend. Some kind of barrier, a rampart, an oil pool, stockades and spiky bits. Spiky bits. Okay. You have to put them within the illuminated area still, which we don't really have space to fit whatever that is. Could put up a barrier of some kind. Does it help us, really? I mean, maybe. Rampart looks a bit bigger. Does it really tell us what they do? So here we go. Enemy movement is slowed down considerably. Enemies in contact lose health over time, and it breaks charges. Stockade damages enemies, breaks charges, slows down more, and makes enemies weaker. So that's a pretty strong one to fight around or over. What does it cost? 8 tools. They're expensive. Okay. 6 for the rampart as well. Not cheap things. Oil pool. it does slow them down. It does hurt the enemies and not us, but I think it's probably better if you had something that could set it on fire, which I don't think we have. Enemies are hurt but not slowed down much. Ah, other way round. I understand. Hindrance, enemies lose health every second. The defense is if an enemy's touching it, it loses health. So the stockade will lose a health every second, and it's got 30 health. But while it's there, enemies are slowed down and do less damage. With only 10 tools available to us, I don't think we build anything. I don't think. I may regret that, but who knows. We're good to go. What have we got here? We've got wolfies. 3 wolfies at the back. 2 wolfies with the heroism stuff. And then a couple of wolfies. Some knighties. Unit of goblins. Ancient unit of goblins with maces that like cutting ankles. Some biggies. It's an orc officer unit, okay. And some more biggies at the back. So the right hand side is quite scary. The left hand side has lots of wolfies. Okay. What are we doing first? Might just get our swords and our captains to go to the right, and then we'll have a couple of spears protecting the left, because the wolfies seem least scary. Am I wrong about that? How can we really tell? Don't know. They're faster. They have more health. Okay, wolfies might actually be scarier. So their weapons. The axe does 7 damage. Mace does 5. Wolfies have a mace. Wolfies have a mace somehow. Doing 5. It all seems pretty scary at the moment. Should we just charge in, or do we wait for them to come a bit closer? Let's wait a little bit. The wolfies on the left are not moving, so let's pounce on the right and see what we can do. Charge like upward. Oh, so a good charge will just wipe out an enemy unit really quick. It's lucky they don't charge us. Oh, they're too far for that guy. Yeah. Do we want to pull back? Or do we just be patient? Let's be a little patient. That wolf is thinking of charging. Nice, a little speech bubble appears with what they're going to do, and then you can mouse over for the cooldown for when it's going to happen. This is a well-polished game. Like a good idea, really delivered very nicely. I'm very impressed. Just, could do with that music. I'm feeling it now when it's like dead silent. So the biggies here are kind of stuck. They've not gone around their guys, so I think we're kind of good there. We should send someone to try and get these biggies that are hiding in the forest. Pigeons off cooldown. Let's send... Ah, you can't charge into a forest. Okay. Never mind then. 2 seconds to a charge over here. Can we counter-charge? Not quite. So we got the 3 destroys. They panicked. That doesn't interrupt a charge or change anything. It just hurts them all a bit. Fine. Still not close enough to charge them. And we have like less than a second. There we go. Just in time to countercharge. Which is an achievement. Intercept a charge with our own charge. Oh, if I'm getting achievements, I can't be that bad at the game, right? There's another charge there. Still can't charge him, they're hiding. And that guy's fine. I just use the opportunity to move. Yeah. Move back. I guess it's a waste of the magpie because it gives a charge bonus. Now that I don't have the charge bonus, he's come out of the forest. Lovely. He's already fighting, so I assume... No, you can charge even though they're already swinging. Incoming charge will remove an armour. 2 needed to shatter it, but it will stun. Okay, armour is a thing. Right, so if we're maybe if we're charging into a unit that doesn't have armor, that's when it's popping immediately. Perhaps. Still, gets a stun. We doing okay there? Spearmen are kind of hurt against these biggies, but we're doing okay, I think. We could restore health somehow. How was that? That was the rally. So if I send the Black Tit to ask this captain to rally, some health will be restored. Some health. Another panic. Guys here are drifting down, which is good. These guys are about to charge, but I think they're close enough that we can counter-charge. One thing I should get in the habit of doing is checking our strength value before we charge so we don't run out. Like these guys, for example. That's the second time I asked that group to charge. They charged the earlier opponents and now these ones. So they are now exhausted. Which, don't see where the effect of that is detailed. Ah, here. Out of strength, unable to charge, and they take more damage. So, ideally we'd restore a bit of their whatever, but we're kind of about to win, so I don't think it matters. And then medals give experience. Allows units to gather new skills. So all these, we may get some extra skills for them if we keep getting experience, maybe. One obviously isn't enough to do anything, it doesn't appear, so okay, cool. Lots of information, but the UI just gives it all to you. As it said itself, there's tooltips for everything. All the little icons kind of make sense. Some of them might be unnecessary, but that's fine. It all makes sense. There's information everywhere. You can find it pretty quick. There's a bit too much for my brain to get around everything all at once in the first hour, but most games are like that, you know. It adds depth later on. I don't think you could like do half these things and add more as you go. You got to kind of just go into the deep end, and it seems to have those roguelite elements where you can fail a run and just go again, not necessarily with a different, like not necessarily with a stronger set, but with a better knowledge might help. Just drifting down. They've been wiped out anyway. And we have defeated the enemy army using a panic, so I get another achievement and a flawless victory. Good, glad we didn't waste the fishy before starting this fight. And then we start the journey back to town with no random events this time. Very nice. Quest complete. We get paid. Nice. I assume we need to spend some of that money. The special offer has changed. So you kind of need a lot of money if you're ever going to get the special offer. You need to do like 4 buys in the same day. Sure. We could spend 12 for 1 spearman. Seems a bit much. So what's the downside of having more people? I assume you need more food if you've got more people. I could get axemen and some light riders, some great swords. I don't know. Don't know the scale of things, you know. If we're still doing the starting quests that were offered at the start, I don't think we need to change our army if we're getting flawless victories already. I'd be inclined to get as much food as we can. So, both of these maybe. Spend 25, get 21 food and 8 tools that we may use at some point. I'm going to do that. Although, you should buy one thing at a time, because the thing that replaces it could be a better option. Interesting. Don't want to spend all our money, but we could go down to 8 money and have 39 food. It seems like overkill. It just seems like a good buy that might not be here next time we come back. What do we think? I'm going to keep a more balanced amount of resources. We'll leave it at that. And we'll pick up a next quest. The one that needs less food seems safest. We still have that manpower missing from that one group. If we rested, we'd recover it, but it seems like a waste of a rest to just get 1 manpower back. So I think we'll go for it. We'll spend 11 food, 0.4 per manpower. So more units means more manpower, which means more food needed to do a quest. It all makes sense. 2 villages have been pillaged in the last week. This development undermines the reputation of the regional prince. Be prepared, the road is not safe. This is going to take us 10 days. It's a doable difficulty. It's my kind of difficulty, something we can do. 42 monies if we can. Use all our food, no deserters. Off we go. North on the road. Random event. One of our units reports their food has gone bad. Perhaps it was poisoned. They refuse to consume it. On the surface there's nothing wrong with it. They want to discard it anyway. How wasteful. Maybe we can just force someone to confess to the poisoning. Lose 5 food. Ow. Or lose the captain. Not going to lose a whole captain unit. I'll have to lose the 5 food. Ouch. Another random event. We approach the burning remains of Arulen. Arulen, maybe? Village has been completely destroyed, the earth salted. It wasn't a simple bandit raid, difficult to discern who the attacker was. Finally, your scattered troops find something, a hut on the hill. Someone lives here, a fire still burning beneath the pot. What are you doing? You found a villager, whole family. Perhaps it's a good idea to camp here and question them. Add a day, or just carry on. I mean, there's no penalty to just carrying on, but I assume we have this like overarching quest, right? And this seems like something that's going to contribute to that bigger quest at the cost of a day. So let's do that, see what happens. Villager shares hot drink and tells his story. There's music. And I don't think it's the same track. Cool. Nice. What's there to tell? The village was attacked by a group of soldiers under a strange banner. Never seen it around here. Came and burned the whole place. Killed most folk, don't know why. They were human, but they didn't behave human. Troops burst in the hut with an exciting finding. They found a strange sword sticking out the ground. Let's move on, the world will remember, or give them a food and move on, the world will remember. Interesting. What are they going to remember if we move on? That we didn't give them a gift? Or that we were here? I don't really want to give food to random villagers. We're mercenaries. Why would we do that? I mean, I guess why would we camp next to their house? But no harm in that. We're just going to move on. We say goodbye to the family. Troops have already packed up the camp as they prepare to depart. Study the strange sword. All curvy. The handle has way more curves than necessary. Double spikes on the guard. Doesn't fit in a regular sheath. Huh. Okay. Worth spending a day to get some interesting stuff. Pierin comes out of the shadows, not really a village anymore, just a collection of ruins burned down recently. The blood on some bodies is still fresh. Scouts are searching the woods. As you move through the ruins, notice a nest in a fallen chimney with a plump burb inside. Feed the burb, lose a food the world will remember, or the burb is fat enough. We know burbs are valuable in this game, but it doesn't say we get a burb if we feed this. It does say the world will remember it. Don't know what that means, but it's curious. I mean, the other option, doing nothing, I don't like. Like, that's a dead end. We're here to explore the game, so let's do the one that the world's going to remember. While we were busy looking at a bird, one of our scouts has been jumping and shouting for your attention. Oops. But burbs are important. He's already tired by the time we notice him. I'm not judging you, I'm just telling the story. Your men have found possible culprits. Green skin are advancing on our position. Take cover, prepare for battle. This is the name of the location we're in. That's what that pop-up is all about. Okay, I understand now. Good. When I said monkey earlier, that was the name of where we were fighting. The spawn limits are going to be interesting here, but we can at least spawn close if we are affected by the limit. And all of the opponents are within one giant cloud, which is curious. Still don't know if this is even like a good strat or anything, but 7 units there, 3 units there, 2 units at the back. If there are 7 units there, how many are right at the front? None. So they're mostly at the back here? Yes. So if we do stabby, 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 2 units are still hiding, so there's 2 in that cloud. Stabby. That's nice. So as you use your harassing ones to reveal the specific clouds, it changes the numbers that the horses are seeing. So there's 1 still hiding here. Cool. Nice. Some Furies here. They sound scary. Ancient shock troops. With battle axes and a 40 damage ability. Scary. Lots of wolfies as well. We're used to them. And stickies. Shah goblin spearmen. Let's equip our burbs. And place our units. So we have 9 units. And there's a limit of 8 and 6. So I think we place the 8 at the back. And then have 1 extra who moves back at the start of the fight. Maybe. Or we could place 6 here and have 3 more move in to join them. It's a bit close to the enemy. So I feel in terms of getting ourselves positioned, setting up at the back might be best. Maybe. Go with you there. Let's have captain, captain. That's not captain, that's sword. Okay. Captain sword, captain sword. Oh, the captains are also seemingly giving some kind of bonus to health. Yes, encouraging presence. Allies in range gain extra health, max health. Cool. Fine. When we place a row in front and they charge, it leaves our other guys a long way behind. I'd rather have 1 row and then people on the flanks to charge in sideways, I think. There, so there, and I didn't quite get that how I want, never mind. I guess he's going to have to go there and hopefully all the enemies just decide to favour us. That zone's full, so this guy's going to have to spawn here. Put him as close as we can. Or maybe here, and he's going to run all the way across the front line as quick as he can before the enemies get here. Genius plan. Going to go very well. We could put spikies at the front. What does it do? On death, it explodes and enemies are stunned, and enemies are hurt. So every second an enemy's in contact with it, the 20 will tick down. When the 20 hits 0, all the enemies touching it are hurt and stunned. Seems kind of strong for only 4 tools. Just not sure placing it this close to our guys is actually going to do anything. Are enough enemies going to stand on it? Because we want to charge. Maybe we should move all of our guys backwards and put these in front. We could just put them over here and hope that the enemies walk over them on the way towards us enough. But it doesn't seem good. We haven't currently had anything happen on the campaign map that cost us tools, so I do feel like spending some, because we have some. Should we put a stockade in then? But then we can't really charge. We put it back here. When they reach it, we charge at them. Let's give it a go. I'm curious about it, so let's place ourselves a stockade there and see whether it helps us or not. I'm not going to use any fishies still. We haven't really gained any, so I'm happy. Okay, lots of stickies. Few biggies. This is going to be a much tougher fight than the last one. Oof. Fingers crossed we can survive. Start. Pause. I need to pause a lot. Drag around to give up move order. There we go. Off you go. Although if they're tempted to attack the sides, they're going to ignore our stockades. Not sure they're even going to come up the middle at all. I mean, at the moment they're just waiting for us to come. No, they're grouping up big time. Oh, this is scary. Don't panic. They are just... I think they're going to... Some of them touch the stockade, but many of them are kind of going around. They're about to charge. Well, not about to. In a while they will. This random one going off the side is interesting. I feel like we have to charge. Don't know why I feel like we have to charge, but I do. I don't really need the charge boost, do I? Just a small thing in the controls that I'm noticing is if I'm paused, I go to give an order and I cancel, it unpauses. And it would be nice if it stayed paused if I was paused. Because there's a little brief bit of time in the between there before I hit the spacebar again, where things are happening. None of these guys have armor, not even the big guy. The biggies at the back do, but one charge is enough? No. Armor. Right, so a single charge point will destroy one armor. Our guys all have a single charge point. So we would want the buff if we're charging a biggie, but otherwise it just doesn't matter. So there's no reason to favour the magpie at the moment in this context. Don't want these guys to charge over because we want them to line up on the stockade before we come over, I think. Depending on the range of the stockade, I guess. They may be affected already. Let's start popping enemies to get the morale bonuses. What am I expecting to happen? It hasn't lost health, therefore they're not activating the ability. It breaks charges. Does it also break our charge then? Be interesting. May have wasted a bunch of tools, but that's fine to learn. They're slowed, and their weapons are less effective when they get to that point. Okay. Kind of need to be moving in. I'm going to give a move order over this side. Get closer. That guy's definitely activated there, right? Yes. So at this point I need a bird. Really need a bunch of birds. We've lost 2 units just like that. This could be the end of our mercenary company. The stockade didn't really do anything useful at all. They've just walked over it before I could do anything, which is no doubt my fault, but still. In you go. Don't have enough birds to give enough orders. A panic on them. But yeah, so many units that when they all get in attacking, we're in trouble. I used a special ability. Maybe we should use one of ours to heal up. Just a little. These guys charge. And these guys are going to do some damage. Not much I can do about that. Don't want to exhaust anyone. Need to be careful of that. We could give a good charge there. Nice. Now every bird is on cooldown. Can we survive? They gave themselves some kind of boost. Heal or something. We're going to lose another unit there. Nothing I can really do. We did just get another morale. If I charge, will that be quick enough? Yep. Saves that guy. Nice. Who else have we got that can do anything? Can we give another health boost? Do we need it? Only for that guy, which I think we'll just leave him at the back. This guy could really do with it. I mean, what does their ability do? Push away? Will that do anything? Don't think so. We could definitely do with someone over here, so let's just move that guy forward, I guess. Can we charge between our guys? No. Okay. Oh, our stockade is there. That's what stopped him doing that charge. So it does affect us, the charge as well. Worth knowing. We are currently affecting this guy with the stockade, though, so it may be actually doing something useful. Guys are drifting down here. Can I get this guy to charge? Yes. With the magpie bonus, and their armor will shatter. Excellent. Victory. A decisive victory, but we did lose people in the process. Just, I don't know, good to learn about what that's about, I guess, now. Two spearmen were shattered, so they lose a manpower. So even though they popped on the map, they weren't destroyed. I guess that's because they have manpower available. So if they pop on the map and there's no manpower left on the campaign side of things, they die for good. So they still have 3, so they can like pop 3 more times. Popping, not the technical term, I'm sure, but it helps me understand. So these guys, if they are destroyed twice, let's have a look at this. So when a unit shatters, they lose 1, but they're still alive for future battles. You lose 20% of your max health for every 1 lost. So that is significant. If you have none left and you are shattered, you're destroyed permanently. 20% max health is lost for each 1, okay? So if you had 5 manpower base and you lost 5 of them, you would have no health. However that works. Cool. The greenskin didn't salt the earth. They just scavengers, that does make sense. But we haven't seen greenskin around here. Now we have. Why would they risk coming out to the human villages? They aren't responsible for these raids. It must be something else. Best to monitor the situation and see which village is in danger next. Good plan, but we need to head back to town. Probably do a rest to recover the manpower now that multiple units are affected. We see a caravan in the distance passing between the trees. Too large for merchants, but unarmed. Most of them are civilians, refugees from the villages. They're carrying some wagons full of valuables. We could relieve them of their treasure, starting a battle but gaining money, or just greet them. I don't think we're... I mean, it doesn't say that the world will remember this, so I don't feel like it's necessarily a bad thing to do, but I think we're going to roleplay the good guys and just greet them. A small unit of horsemen meets up with us. A large older woman appears to be their leader. Greetings, travellers. Shame we didn't meet you a couple of days ago. Could have really used our help defending the village. They're from Arulan, however we're going to say that we saw earlier. Raided by some new bandit outfit. Monstrous really burnt everything to the ground and destroyed every structure. Almost like they wanted to erase the place. Even salted the earth so nothing would grow. We met a family in the hut on the hill. We did. What do you mean? There were no other survivors. We left no one behind. The hut on the hill was burnt to the ground along with the family inside. Ghosts? Maybe ghosts. We lost a morale for that. I wish we hadn't talked to them now. Dang ghosts hurting our morale. As we approach town, we hear a screech in the distance. A fast flying shadow high against the sun descends from the air and attacks our head. Close your eyes and boop, a cute little pigeon lands on your head, somewhere between white and grey, barely standing on its feet. We've made a friend. Hello, Burb. We gained a Burb. Cool. We like Burbs here. What do we need from town? Buy them rest or rest them buy? Buy anything good, rest, and maybe it'll refresh the board when you rest. I have a suspicion it would. Guess we can find out. I don't really care for the tools. The battlefield structures are just like a level of complexity that I'm not ready for. So, yeah. I'd rather focus on other things. Maybe food and fish, and then we could actually spend some fish. Let's buy that. Don't want any of that. So if I do a rest to recover our manpower and our morale, nice beer. It does not change the board, okay? Fine. But we can pay 1 denarii to refresh. And then that's always 1. Cost didn't go up. That's surprising, but nice. I think food is good and food and fish are good. Because we haven't used tools in a random event yet, but we have used food. We haven't used money either, so I think lots of food and fish is good. Unless we want to invest in units, just for the... I mean, that fight was pretty... not close. But we could be stronger if the fights are going to get stronger. Shortbow and spearmen is quite simple. Shortbow and greatsword is both new, which is interesting. Heavy horses sounds strong. don't know, I feel like maybe great swords and short bows will give us some interesting things to look at. So let's buy that. And then more food. It's a shame we can't do another one to find out what this special is all about. But I think, yeah, we'll just buy that. And hopefully we don't need more money. And again, should have bought one thing, seen what refreshed it with, and then another, and so on, or whatever. We couldn't have bought these, but better tactically. Heavy horse and light riders, that could be fun if we ever get that opportunity again. In any case, we've spent all of our money, really. We have our total manpower, though, so if I go to my company of people, I could disband people, right? Oh, you gain money back as well when you do that. Interesting. I'm curious about maybe getting rid of the supply wagon. It's causing me to always build in the same way. Like around the wagon, and I'm not really using its ability, especially because you have to like spend a burb to do it. All it does is lets you charge again, and that's not always relevant, although it is good, strong. I need to get better at using it. We'll keep it, but I need to get better at using it. We'll see if we can continue with all of these people and see how that goes. So escort needed was a quest we had before. Cost to do it is more expensive because we have more people, I guess. Glory Awaits is a new quest. Can we look at Water 38? Is that enough to recover the supply spent on it, you know? But yes, probably. We'll spend time doing it, though, so is there any... Is it better to just go for Glory Awaits? New expedition to stop a greenskin warband. It's doable, and there's a bigger reward. It will take 14 days, though. Let's go for the big quest. Glory Awaits. Let's spend... What do we think? I mean, there's a point where you're guaranteed to lose manpower. It's not a huge deal to lose it. As in, no unit is going to immediately die permanently just because 2 manpower desert. And there's a chance none desert. And we can save 6 food. I think it's worth gambling a little, in general. No one deserted. Gamba, we won. The exhausting tempo of this journey is taking a toll on the troops. Some of the men are collapsing on the road. What do we do with their belongings? Allow troops to search dead men's belongings. Confiscate the belongings. We don't need the morale. We're full. This adds a day and adds morale. Don't care for it. But the other option loses morale specifically, which is bad. We would gain money. Gain money. We have the morale to spend because we're at camp. Kind of. That's interesting though. I didn't... Should have thought of that more. It doesn't break a morale, it removes one. So when we're in combat, we now only have 2. Every 2 units lost will cause a panic. It's not a case... I was thinking we go into combat, there's 3, but one of them is spent, and therefore 2 units there's a panic, but then we have 3 back. And that won't be the case, we'll have 2 back. Interesting. More morale at the campaign level. Better. We're invited to the commander's tent. Important for all allies in this expedition to know each other. As you approach the tent, we hear shouting. Get out. No, you won't get my broom. Who do you think I am? Leave now. An old man leaving the tent in haste, carrying a bag of trinkets on his shoulder. Sure. Commander Adam leaves the tent just behind him. Wants to make sure the old man leaves the camp. Adam, the commander of the expedition, is an old scruffy man, big beard, bigger belly. Powerful posture nonetheless. Yeah, what is this about? He frowns. Never mind, damn scavengers. Find something interesting and they must have it. Okay, weirdness. Back inside the tent, close the flap. We won't be meeting the commander after all. Okay, weird. Sure. Simple folk are easily impressed by powerful storms ravaging the land. Some storms are so powerful they send fear into their hearts. Do we allow the scared soldiers to run? No. But we can't afford to lose another morale. We would lose supply wagons if we let them leave. But we can't afford to lose morale, can we? I don't know how we would get it back, unless there's a random event that's a bit more positive than this. Lose the supply wagons. I was thinking of getting rid of them. We would have got 3 gold if I'd chosen to. In this case, we're saving our morale. Off they go. It's a shame. Rather not, but, you know, I don't... no winners in those choices. High up in the mountains, carts squeak as they move slowly forward, dangerously close to the abyss. One of the carts suddenly breaks loose, speeds up, moves backward faster and faster. Soon it will hit a group of soldiers and they will tumble into the abyss. Save the supplies or the soldiers. We just lost our wagon. We can't lose a captain as well. 2 fishies. Goodbye, 2 fishies. Troops march mindlessly. They're at their limit already. Haven't even had a fight yet. Order with the cart has broken spirits. Rest for the day. The battle can wait. Yes, it's just 1 day of time. Does make things more difficult, but there we go. Camp is more lively than usual. Adam's company has organised a drinking competition. You're invited. When you enter the tent, the first thing you notice are the bodies. Not dead, just sleeping. The commander can drink. His guards have trouble keeping up. He asks you to join him. Spend a food, the world will remember this. I feel like we're kind of on the cusp of just dying completely, so I'm not sure the world remembering things is going to matter. We'll drink on. Adam opens up. I respect our enemy, I really do. They live in horrible conditions. Wish this could all be done with a quick chat and biscuits. No idea what is this new warband. It's unknown even to other greenskin. They're outcasts, fight rough as hell. They have tunnels all over the land. Here's a fun thing, a password for the tunnels in Polichna. White frog. Okay. Good to know. Should we spend all of our food drinking? Used to sweep up, blah 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 blah. Rurik has a tendency for violence. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. I don't want to go through all of our food. I think we're done listening to ramblings. Although, interesting events. There's quite a lot of variety so far. I don't think we've seen a repeat or anything yet. I do wonder if we played a second time would we get literally all the same events. They feel like random events, but they might not be. Which is curious. I hope they're randomised and there are lots of them available. When the sun rises, notice the falcon nests high on the peaks, silently watching everything that's been going on here for centuries. Not the same birds, obviously. Yes, we feel poetic. It's pretty good writing here. You know, a good little laugh now and then. Peace is disrupted by a new group of soldiers coming from the north, also called the Expedition. Old, veterans of many battles. Some of them don't feel particularly motivated, but they show up out of honour. Ask if they're needed. Well, we did lose our wagon, so getting some greatswords without spending anything seems fine. Yes. We want them. Greenskin Warband comes down from the mountains. Just like the rumours told, their banner is nothing we've ever seen before. Definitely not one of the local warbands. Time to take positions. The Hammer Pass. Okay. So these are our allies. A temporary unit, yeah, so we are going to control them, but we're not going to keep them after the battle. From the looks of it. Let's find where things are. 7 units there. 4 units there. 5 units there. 4 units there. Okay, there's a lot of enemies. Great. Only one in that cloud. Where's the most of them then? 4 there, 7 here, so mostly in the south. Still 5 around here. We'll see under there. Okay, so we've got most of them. 1 under there, 4 under all of that. Just stab in the middle of there. Got a couple. It's some damage around the place for whatever that's worth. Doesn't seem to matter if you get the charge in, but if you don't get the charge in, then it matters. So you can have up to 5 burbs. So you have 8 available and 5 equipped, so we can have all of ours. Nice. Helpful. Glad we got the extra pigeon. Units. And defences, are we going to bother? I don't think I am going to bother. Things kind of flowed better without them. It might be worth having, like, the spikes. If you could put them, like, not within the circle. I mean, I can't move these guys. So if I could move them to the back, we might put spikes at the front of this kind of revealed area, but... yeah, probably will avoid that. Units instead, then. Great swords. Don't want to spread out too much. We can fit everything in these 2 circles, so we'll leave the southern one. Try and get everyone to move towards us. I assume they're going to tactically do what the last guys did, group all their units together and then move in. Which is scary. Let's have great swords ready to move in. Let's have archers on the hill behind our guys. Spears around here, maybe? As I say, no expert. We can't fit everyone on the front line, so... like, 2 lines might be good, or 1 long line. Because... don't always have enough birds to get everyone moved. So, having them behind isn't necessarily a good thing, because I can't get them out from behind. They have to be deployed in this area only, so why don't we just have, yeah, 1 long line? Although we should have captains spread out. Can I move one of you guys down here? Get a captain in with that group. A captain in with this group. We'll have our swords. One thing I do want to do is get the temporary units to the front, because if we lose them it really doesn't matter as much. I don't think. That's a lot of greenskins. Parties? What is a party? They can break armour and they've got axes. Furies, stickies, knighties, biggies, wolfies in the north. That's a lot. Okay, so first of all, get the temporary guys to the front. There. They're already at the front there. And I just want to move you guys up. It's not ideal, I don't think, but it's better. Oh, nice. When they're moving around, they shove friendly units. Right. Okay. Fine. So you could just mass everyone up and get the guys at the back to move forward, and everyone would move forward. Do we need to tell the short bows to open fire? I assume not. They do have flaming arrows, though. Cool. I assume they're just going to fire when they come in range. You want to countercharge them. There they go. They fire. Nice. Oh, too slow. Interesting. The charge hits with this gap between us, expecting to have time before, but never mind. I'll have to just cross-charge. Not great. Not great at all. Can we... doesn't look like it. There we go. They have a lot of morale. Okay, they have 4 units, so we have to kill 4 to get any panic to happen. So this guy, they've got no strength left, so we don't want to charge them again, and I can't replenish it. So, you know, just they're in trouble. We have panicked because it only takes 2 units, and they're already down. Great. Interesting. They charged, I countercharged, they won. And we lost our unit. There's one of theirs down, but that, yeah, not good. They're going to use a skill, they're going to charge. Moved him too far in, he's on his own. Not always a good idea to charge. What else can we do? They're all just going to push up and start fighting, so it's really getting these guys forward. Should I just, like, grab and move? So it's not a charge, but they're going to at least get involved in the fight. We panic again. We are losing in the north, big time. You can charge even if you're already touching, which is worth doing, if you have the burb to do it. Here comes my lack of tactical knowledge. Let's just charge here, maybe. And then they're going to die unless we do something. So can they charge up even though they're touching the other guy? Yes. We're going to panic more and more. You may find out what happens if you lose all your units. Keep charging anything that can to get their panics triggered. Move people forward. Not great, but we're not losing. I don't think it's very well. We panicked and a bunch of people popped. Okay, here come a massive charges. We don't have enough people to do anything about. We panicked and popped. Defeat. Interesting. So our adventure ends here. Everyone died in a battle. End of story. There are fate dice available and we can roll them. Maybe fate will allow us to retry. Maybe. Or we go back to camp or we abandon. I can't see the point in retrying necessarily, because I'm pretty sure I'll just lose again. Like I'll make the same decisions. But we can try. What happens if we roll the bones? We got a heart, therefore we can retry. Right, and each time you get fewer dice, so you only get a certain number of retries. This is interesting. Interesting idea. Do they spawn in the same places is one thing. Doesn't look like it. Those numbers are, yeah, different, really. Doesn't seem like it, but I don't know. 2 units there. Got that wrong. They're back there. Put some damage around the place. Not great, but whatever. I don't think that does as much as, you know, charging at the right time and whatever. Should we abandon the temporary guys and just put all our guys in a little pod down here? What's better? Spreading out seemed bad. Individual units got overwhelmed. So being a tighter group seems better, and also not charging away from ourselves. We can try a different strategy. No harm in just trying something different. So our great swords have little armor. If we activate their ability, they're not bad, but other than that, they're not amazing. They are professional, so every shock ally gives them extra health. When targeted by a charge, they suffer damage? No, it must be the other way around. The charger must suffer damage. How are we going to do this then? I mean, let's just, yeah, big guys at the front. Bows will definitely go at the back. You guys on the edges. A few you guys there. A couple of you can live at the front then. And you there. This may be a massive disaster, but we'll see. Is that different? It looks the same, actually. Kind of. It does look the same spawning, so you can kind of cheese the scouting. If you know where they're going to spawn because you're retrying, you can RAS. My memory's not that good, so I'll never be able to do that, but still. All of you guys move southbound? No. You guys move down. You guys move into a similar location. You guys charge. Or move up. I think we're just going to lose those guys. Don't see that working. Okay, now before they charge and before they get too close this time. Number guys up. There we go. The other guys are still moving. I think I'm underusing move and overusing charge. You should use both to keep pressure. Get some guys around the edge. Didn't pop anyone. I guess he didn't actually connect right. Okay, good. They're grouping there. These guys are still moving. Let's do some damage here. We send these guys in a big circle just to keep these guys distracted for a bit. Don't think we can really... I don't want to charge yet. Want to use this sword up. I know it's a waste of the magpie's bonus, but we want to move further down. Seems reasonable so far. Lost a bit of health here and there. I'm not sure it's the right, but I'm going to do the rally to restore a little. If our arrows can friendly fire. Not clear. Causing a lot more panics this time because we kind of got aggressive and started knocking them down. I did just noticed I exhausted these guys, didn't I? Yeah, which is probably a bad play, but they've survived. This guy's about to pop, so we need to kind of pivot. Can we, like, apply pressure like this? Maybe. I think some of our guys are just going to go all the way around the edge, but the idea is there. They're in the wrong kind of formation. Can I get you around? Yes. And then you in. Okay. I'll take it back. Maybe retrying is effective and trying some crazy strategies actually not awful. How are we doing? We have lost quite a lot of health around the place. Let's have a heal from here. Yes. And then can we charge anything meaningful? Get that. Oh, they're in the trees. Okay. That's an issue. So that's coming off the edge. I've exhausted them as well. That's a bad idea. Doing okay, though. Not actually sure how many hours have popped. I haven't really been keeping track. Certainly some have, but we're definitely outnumbering them big time now. Lots of our guys are exhausted, though, so... Is there anyone who isn't? Oh, this guy at the front. It's the terrain is the issue. Just keep bringing the guys on the side. Oh, they've got lots of strength still. Get in behind them. Completely surround them in the trees. Seems good. Victory this time, okay. Feeling better about that then? Flawless. So none of our guys popped? That was a good strategy this time? I'm surprised. Very surprised. When the onslaught is over, look around to find our friends. Some survived, some haven't been that lucky. What are you on about? It was a flawless victory. Commander Adam is still standing. This will be a battle that all will remember. Come to Snowniar sometime. I mean, we're right there, it would be nice, but we kind of have to go home, which is a long trek with many random events. No random events. Lots of money. Nice. No new quest though, so we are going to have to do the escort needed one. If we rest, we'll spend our last fishy. There's no manpower we need to recover. We will recover 1 morale, which is valuable, but I don't think it's valuable enough to spend our last fishy and when we have no manpower to recover. Hope to find some other way. The shortbows did not seem particularly effective. The easiest way to pop shatter an enemy, I use the technical term, is to charge into them. So, if we're getting more people, more dudes seems better. Axemen, we don't have any at the moment. We could maybe disband some of our spearmen in favour of axemen, because spearmen are fodder and axemen are shock troops, and our captains have a bonus around shock troops or something like that. I think we'll do that. Let's buy them. I would love to get them as well. We don't have a lot of money and we need a lot of food, so 11 food from here. And then 9 food from here. Seems best, yeah. There's all that money spent. I'm not good. I don't know if I'm any good at this type of game. We have to balance your economy in this fashion. Never know what the right choice is, so we may have overspent, or who knows. But I assume the idea is you complete a quest and spend all of your rewards on preparing for the next quest and just hope you earned enough to balance it, I guess. Still, in a company, I do want to reduce our numbers so that we need less food in general. Not too sure how. I gotta say, the short bows did not impress me. I like having ranged units in general in tactical and strategic games, but in this they did not seem to do enough to really matter. I guess they can add damage even when everyone's touching, but I mean, you can always go around if you can get the pressure, so I think I'm going to disband the short bows. And then what have we got? We got 2 of everything and 4 spears, so we could remove some spears, but I feel that would leave us with too few people to win a fight if it's harder than that last one. Let's stick with this for now. A little bigger than we were. Let's stick with that for now and see how it goes. Has given us enough money to buy a bit more food and fish. It doesn't seem like a good deal though. 2 and 6 for 13? No, we've had better deals than that in the past. Let's do the next... Okay, the issue here is the next mission needs 27 food. We have 26. We can underdo it. Then if there's a random event that needs us to spend food, we're going to want more food as well, so I'm going to spend it. Don't think it's the right choice, but I'm going to do it. The special offer is given for free if you buy that many cards in the time. Interesting. I thought it would just be like a good deal, but it's actually just a free. So I'll disband that free short bow and get a tiny bit of money back. Anyway, here's the only quest we've got. Roads are not as safe as they used to be, especially for someone of noble birth. Need a reliable company to ensure safety on the way to abandoned fortress. Going to take us 9 days. We're already 33 days in. Easy difficulty though, easy. We are going to underdo it as little as we can where 0 is a chance. Unfortunate, 2 have deserted. That time we lost the gamba. Our convoy has stopped. One of the carts is broken. Men are exhausted. Could stop for a couple of days to repair, or we could leave it and push on. Leave means 2 food. We got the extra food for this exact situation, so that's what we'll spend it on. As you're passing the roadside villages, you notice the locals aren't happy about your presence here. They're hiding indoors. No one wants to meet our client. Usually villagers would stare at this passing noble with this strange carriage. Not this time. Strange. A single man from the village follows your column. See, the soldiers are mocking him, but he's too far to hear that. Night he comes closer when he introduces himself. He's a local miner, offers his guidance. His eyes light up when we tell him where he's going. The place has been abandoned for decades. Okay. Another night among the barren rocks. Screams break the calm. Men claim they're being haunted by people made of rock. Stones move closer to camp. Some laugh it off, but the guide wants a word with you alone. Try to reassure them. Lose a morale. Our troops have low morale. Be sure to rest when we're in town. We're not in town. The land here has been cursed by poisoned blood. Rocks have soaked up so much hatred they're still motivated to shake out of anger. Clients should know better than to travel here. Every night is a risk. Need more protection. Can bring help from Mazan, but it'll take a few days. We'll gain axemen, but it adds 2 days. The world will remember this. We don't want the axemen. We can't really afford to feed them, I don't think. And I don't want to add 2 days because it makes things harder. But the world will remember this. It's always tempting. Although I haven't really seen the effect of that. I don't know why we would do that. We're going to push on. Be nice to know more about what that means. The world will remember. Barren rocky wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. We haven't reached the objective, but we've got a battle. Interesting. It says we're there. Okay. See lights flashing far away. Some armoured men are coming our way. Not friendly, but at least they're ordinary meaty men. Just ordinary meaty men. Okay. As opposed to what other kind of man? Who knows? Okay, let's scout a little then. What is up here? 3 units. What is down here? More units. Interesting whole setup. I think because of the limit we're going to deploy in the middle up here for sure. What's at the back of here? 5. So 5, 3, 6 and 3. They're evenly balanced around the place then. 1 at the front there, so stab there. No, there. Yes. Okay. And then, I don't know, stab at random and see what you hit. A few people. Good. Mostly militia up there. We know they're easy from the tutorial. Axemen and captain down there a bit harder. Okay. Equip me my burbs. Let's get everyone placed out in these trees, I guess. You can charge from trees, I assume, which could be interesting. We're going to do this. We're going to get attacked from both sides, unless we get aggressive and push the top. Let's do that. It worked well last time being aggressive, so we're going to push the top group. And then turn ourselves around in time, hopefully. So let's get our guys oriented to be heading this way. May not be the best layout in the world, but it'll work. Where was that bonus then? So professional soldiers. Max health for every ally shock. Axemen is power in numbers. They get health for any ally. And hold the fort. They like having structures nearby. Encouraging presence gives everyone else more health. The captain isn't shocked, so the great swords are getting a bonus from the axemen. That's how that is working. Okay, we could build something. It might work with our strategy if we just place some random explodey things here. If enough of those units happen to walk over them, then it could help us, or it may be a waste of 4 tools, but we have the tools to spend, so let's randomly find out whether that works or not. I'm tempted to spend a fishy because we have 4, and I know we need them to restore our morale, because any time one of our units shatters, we take a panic. But we might feed the birds so that we can give more orders quicker. That costs 2 fishies. Let's do it. That only cost me 1 fishy, even though it says it costs 2. I'm not complaining. It was cheaper than advertised. Ooh. Brigands and a captain, but then 3 militia. So I think that's doable. This is a problem though. Light riders are probably going to catch us pretty quick. Okay. All of you, absolutely apply the most pressure you can as quick as you can. They only have 2 morale. That's helpful, even though ours is worse. We're also in the trees, so we can't charge them. That is an issue. Here, we can... No? What's... It's making a charge thing, but it's not doing the usual, I don't think. Go for it. Don't know what I'm missing. It means they're not going to pop, I think. It makes a different noise if it's going to pop them, but I can't quite work out. They're in the terrain, yeah. They're in the terrain now as well. They could charge again. And get those guys. It's something. It's a pop. A shatter. Although, yeah, I just exhaust those guys. My bad. There's a panic. So far, a lot of damage on these guys, but everything else okay. We've pushed them out of the trees, so charge. I've exhausted them as well. That was silly too, but never mind. Charge. Charge. Good. Another panic. Those horses are not so quick. I think they're maybe intentionally holding them with the group rather than pushing them. Maybe. Okay, they are shattered. There's our group. The exhausted ones are kind of at the back, so we can just push this way now. Have axemen at the front, maybe. But we should just, like, yeah, apply pressure in this direction. Meet them in the middle. This is not going to pop. Not enough units have moved around it. While we have burb, let's rally. Any other abilities worth doing? Another rally wouldn't hurt. The other stuff is only relevant if there's enemies nearby. Go for it. Max the health out of that unit that was damaged. Yeah, it's a shame. They went through the trees instead of over the trap, which would have been nice if they'd blown themselves up, but it didn't quite reach the 0 health needed. Unless we can really push them, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, their horses are ready to charge. We really could have done with our spearmen at the front, right? Because spears are good against horses. Yeah, spears are good against horses. Never mind. We can still do a charge. Will they have armour? They have armour. But axemen have a charge bonus anyway, so you can charge. Cause the panic. You don't... You're exhausted, you can't charge. Okay. Damn, but okay. They're in the trees anyway. Why is the back a bit slow? Don't know why he's stopped, but I can't really afford a bird just to get one guy moving again. Or that guy either. Interesting. Could do with our captains nearby so we can rally, but I don't want to play. Send him around. It exhausted him, but I think it's worth it. So I don't feel bad. Any of them that are not in the trees, give them a charge. No, they're in the trees. He can't charge. That's too far to charge. They're all in the trees. This is the only guy not in the trees. So at this point I do have a spare bird. So if you guys could move towards him. Nice. What was that? Our armour all broke? Okay. Didn't even realise we had armour on, but sure. A rally won't hit everyone, but it's still relevant, I think. There's a charge coming, but we're in the trees as well, so I think we're good. He can charge. There's one guy in the trees. Flawless victory again. Aren't I good at this? An achievement as well for winning a battle with only 1 morale. Ooh, level ups. Ooh. So when you level up, it refreshes your manpower, which is good, and adds extra health. Love it. Doing surprisingly well. I was pretty sure we're going to fail by now. Fortress is larger than the stories told. Its stone walls are crumbling, but they're still in place. There's no gate visible, just blocks of stone. Client steps out of the carriage and places their hand on one of the blocks. The walls rumble. Stones fall down from the towers. Troops are not happy. The gate slowly opens, and inside we see a ruin. The advisors thank you and send us off. Okay. Back home we go. Just as we're breaking camp, guards bring a strange old man inside the tent. Claims his name is not even going to try. A merchant. His clothes are dirty and full of holes. His equipment is old. It's not a good look for a merchant. Looks homeless. He's come to us with a simple proposition. Come a long way to find us. Give us a minute. One of your swords is unlike any other. It's of no use to us. The metal doesn't want to be sharpened. It's useless. Let me buy it. I'm tempted to keep it because it may become relevant in other random events, but it is 15 gold, which seems like a lot. We can buy food with money. The world is going to remember for whatever that's worth. As we hand him the sword, he acts fast, hands us the money, puts the sword in the sheath and walks away. Seems dodgy. Guards stand confused. So much denarii for a broken sword. If only they'd found it. We're left wondering 2 things. How did they make sheaths for swords with strange curves? Good question. And why was it stamped with an emblem of that place we just went to? Ooh. It's an interesting story going on. You can tell I like the game because we're gone over time. I said 90 minutes and we're more like 100 right now. And this, preview or whatever it is still going. There's still quests, there's still stuff, but we will have to wrap things up so that we can move on and look at some other games. Thank you very much for joining me, as we have taken this quick look at Winter Falling for the Tiny Teens Festival. It's great. It's really good. I found nothing to complain about. Oh, a lack of music, as we have now. I complained about that, and I feel like I complained about something else. Can't remember what. But other than a couple of little complaints, it's really well put together. It's got a nice world they've built. It's telling a nice story. The mechanics all work great. The UI is fantastic. It makes a lot of sense. It's good fun. It's easy to get absorbed into because, you know, I've gone over on time. So, evidently, I really like this one. It's not the style of game I'd usually play. I don't feel confident playing this kind of game. But I'll certainly keep an eye on it. I could be tempted to keep playing it again and more, depending on how much content, you know, the game has and how much length to it. I like this. It was good fun. I hope you've enjoyed having a look too. Do check it out yourselves if you get an opportunity to do so in the future at any point. See if you like it. Let us know what you think, obviously. But that wasn't a bad time at all. Thank you for joining me.